This is Psychic Bob. It is so rocking to be with you. Well, here it is. It's Monday, and that means it's time for Melchizedek Monday class. That's right. This is our fourth class in our series, and I tell you, we're having a really good time. And we're going to have probably 2 more classes to initiation. There's a lot here that I still want to cover, and so just want to let you know, probably after this, we're going to still have 2 more classes and then the initiation, okay? Now, just to answer some questions that have come in, some people have said, Psychic Bob, are we going to get a certificate to show we're initiates of the Order of the Gold Light of Melchizedek? Absolutely. I will have certificates for everybody at the end of the course. So not to worry, you will get a certificate that you can, frame and put on your wall. Okay, so that is part of our work here. Okay, so you will have your paperwork. Okay, not to worry. Good question though. Well, today I wanted to continue to talk about the Merkava. The Merkava is a very powerful tool of the Order of Melchizedek. As we work with the Merkava energy, we raise our spiritual light body, and it's through the light body that we're able to send power, healing, blessing to the whole universe. Now, if you don't know what we're talking about, you need to go back and see the first 3 classes. This is a series where you really need to watch it in order from the beginning to follow it because it's so much stuff and very complex. I can't go back and reteach every concept. So we're going to start today assuming you know what the Merkava is. Now, just for a quick little refresher, I'm going to put a picture up here for you. So as you can see, that is our Merkava Star. Now, we've been working on seeing it in the gold light, which is wonderful. But today we're going to, and also actually before I get into that, we also practiced spinning that light. And as we start to spin that Merkava, and we get it going really fast, we'll notice that light is emitted in an outward circular fashion. And that leads to the formation of an elliptical energy form. Let me put that picture up here for you. So that is one of our goals in doing this, to release an energy form. Now, as we said, that energy form looks very much like what the ancient peoples described as flying saucers or ships of light that carried ascended masters to them. It's really believed in the Order of Melchizedek that it is the light body that generated much of the ancient UFO activity. So the ships of light were not necessarily metallic craft with bright lights, but they were truly ships of light formed through the light body. Pretty profound stuff. Well, now we're going to talk about the Rainbow Merkava. The Rainbow Merkava is another extension of the Golden Light Merkava. And basically what you want to do is practice opening the chakras in your body. Now, for those of you who don't know what chakras are, inside of the human body, from the base of the spine to the top of the head, there are 7 energy centers. And they basically start at the base of the spine with the red chakra. It's the root chakra. Then you move up to the pelvic region. It's an orange colored chakra. The chakras are like spinning wheels of light, okay, or spinning balls of light. At the pelvic bone, we have another chakra, which is orange in color, called the sacral chakra. Then we move up to the stomach area, and we have our solar plexus chakra. It is a yellow color, okay. Now, these are the 3 lower chakras. The red chakra at the base chakra, deals with issues connected to fear, anxiety, fight or flight. It's not a bad chakra because it's the power that gives us motivation for survival. The next chakra, the orange chakra, is the sacral chakra. This is where our creativity, this is where our sexuality is generated from. The next chakra is the solar plexus here in the stomach area. This chakra deals with emotions, how we feel, how we process emotion, and our self-expression. Then we move up to the 4 higher chakras, and that starts at the heart. The heart chakra is traditionally seen as a green color, sometimes a pink color, but traditionally in this meditation it's going to be green. This deals with our love, our healing. It deals with our ability to receive healing, to give healing, and the way we feel in our heart, our love. Next we move to the throat. The throat chakra is a beautiful blue color, a sky blue. And this chakra deals with our expression, our communication. It regulates the thyroid gland and affects a lot of the glandular systems of the body. Our next chakra is here between the eyebrows. This is the one many people know about, the third eye. You know, the ancient Hindus honored it by the Bindi dot, and we've talked about that as well. This is where psychic vision comes from. This is where you can project outward into the spirit world sometimes through the third eye. It's clairvoyant, it's vision. In fact, it's believed that it regulates the pituitary gland, which is actually a regressed third eye. Okay. Then we move to the top. By the way, this chakra is a dark blue, an indigo blue color. Then we move to the crown chakra, which is purple or violet. And this is where we receive channeling. The crown chakra is our interface with the higher power, with the universe at large. It's where we receive knowledge and information about our soul and about our journey. It's through this chakra that the great yogis exit when they leave their body, their material body. Their spirit leaves through the top chakra. So the chakras, if you look at them in order, they resemble the lights of the rainbow, which is basically when they merge, they're white light. So all the colors of the chakras eventually merge and transcend into white light. That is the white lighted divinity, the light of the spirit. Okay. Now, today what we want to think about is I would like you to try to meditate when you can on illuminating each of these chakras. Just take your time and illuminate them. Then after they're illuminated, you can bring in your golden light Merkava. And notice how the Merkava will start to take on the colors of the chakras. It may look banded or it may shift in color. And as you spin it, I want you to focus on taking in the rainbow colors of the chakras and taking your chakra energy and merging it with the spinning Merkava Star. This is what is known as the rainbow Merkava. It will take some practice, but it's definitely a form of power. And so you can alternate your Merkava that spins between golden light and rainbow light. So this is something that you might want to explore. One way to do it is to have a Merkava. You can visualize it as a Merkava with bands of rainbow light and then surrounded on the periphery by golden light. So a golden edge around the rainbow Merkava. This is a beautiful image, one that I think is very, very powerful. So that's one way you might want to explore the rainbow Merkava and the golden Merkava. So just to recap, you want to light up your chakras. That's your inner rainbow. That's your source of power and joy. And then you want to merge that light with the Merkaba and begin to spin it and bring it into a rainbow luminescent Merkava star that surrounds your body and moves with you. And then you can surround that with a golden light. And as you spin that, you will release out the energy form that creates a new form of light energy release. Which is elliptical, some would say saucer-shaped ultimately. This is what I want you to focus on. And I would say for the next week, I would really put the information, the emphasis on getting to know the chakras, working with them, and seeing how that energy merges with the Merkaba. Kind of complex, but I never said this was going to be easy. But you know what? If you're here and you've been following thus far, you can do this. So I want you just to take your time, know the chakras, and then experiment with combining that light of the chakra with the Merkava Star. That's going to be your homework assignment. I think that's actually quite enough for homework this week because that's a lot to do. But if you've been following, you know what we're about. Now, also, I just wanted to touch in here an interesting point. This is another reading from our book, The Order of Melchizedek. It's by Reverend Daniel Chesborough. There's his name. And this is interesting. Now, last week we talked about the form of Melchizedek, and we said how Lord Melchizedek was an incarnation of God. He is the Godhead in light, taking on a temporary physical manifestation of a light body in the earth plane. He assumed a level of density. The light took on a form of density to be present as a person. Because really God, the divine, is infinite intelligence. And it has such love for us, it took on the form of Lord Melchizedek. I'll put a picture of Lord Melchizedek up here to remind you. All right, there we go. Well, now, this is interesting because, as many of you know, in the Christian tradition, the Master, Lord Jesus, was also considered to be a priest of the Order of Melchizedek. That's detailed throughout the Bible. But this talks about the manifestation of the light in various forms. So I just thought I'd just read a little brief passage here for you. Now, just so you know, when the author talks about Melchizedek, oftentimes he refers to Melchizedek as it, meaning that he is a person, but he's beyond personhood to the point of being a cosmic reality, which is the light. Okay, and we're all really part of that light. And he says, Melchizedek itself was both male and female brought together in one form. Now, last week we talked about that. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, see last week's class again. But basically, Melchizedek, as it said, was both male and female brought together in one form. And that's because the divine, the Godhead, is masculine and feminine. It's yin and yang, okay? And it says, it took hundreds of years of birth, life, death, cycles, and incarnations to prepare the way for the emergence of the two new avatars which complemented each other. Miriam and Yeshua, also known as Mary and Jesus, were the male and female energies split between physical male and female manifestations. But they represent one teacher, one redeemer, one Messiah. Together, They were that representation in two physical forms. Now I'm going to pause for a second because that's very, very significant. So what we're talking about is that as the original form of Melchizedek, who was the light incarnate, took the form of one being in a light body, later that light honored its masculine and feminine side, and it came into the earth as Jesus and Mary. You see, this is very fascinating because as a Wiccan, some people say, well, I left Christianity. I don't want anything to do with, that Christian stuff. But really, if you really study, Wicca, the role of the god and the goddess keep repeating throughout history. And in the Order of Melchizedek, we recognize the polarities, similar to Wicca, of the male and the female energy. And in the Order of Melchizedek, there are many people who honor Jesus and Mary as forms of divinity, as incarnations. Now, let me just explain. The traditional Christian church says that only Jesus is divine and Mary's just a human. But that was because the church also wanted to denigrate women, take away their power, and make them second-class citizens. But the fact is, many people, Catholics, I must say included, really do see in Mary the feminine divine. And really, if you look at history, it can reasonably be argued that Mary is a form of the feminine divine. She is the goddess. The Catholic Church calls her mediatrix of all grace. They call her spouse of the Holy Spirit. They call her Queen of Heaven. They call her Morning Star. All of these titles were actually attributed to ancient pagan goddesses. And so when we get down to it, if we look at the yin and the yang, the male and the female complement and are in harmony. So it really makes sense that if the divine were going to take on another form, it might wish to honor the male and the female. This is why I've said it for many years, and a lot of people think I'm crazy. A lot of Christians hate me for it. But Mary is the feminine face of God. She is the goddess. I've always believed it. And as a Wicca, I've called upon her, even in Wiccan rituals, which I know some Wiccans even don't like when I do that. But the fact is, the Lord and the Lady have manifested in these forms, I believe. And the Order of Melchizedek does seem to recognize that. So, again, the light takes forms, and it expresses the male and female through Jesus and Mary. Pretty interesting stuff. Now remember, we're talking about Melchizedek is actually male and female as well. Today we can address the androgyny of Melchizedek straightforwardly and be better understood than we could have been even 10 years ago. This is not a time for separation by gender, nor is it a time for denial. See, so whether you relate to divinity as a unity or as a polarity, in the polarity there is unity, and in the unity there is polarity. So, the reality is that I believe the divine takes the male and female forms. And in the age that we're in now, the most recent manifestations are literally Jesus and Mary. And this is why, a lot of people say, well, Bob, I've been working with Mary and miracles occur. Of course, because she truly is the light herself as well. So there are my 2 cents on it. You can meditate on that. Well, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap it up. That's enough for today. I think we've covered a lot, but I hope you will continue to do your homework assignment of working on exploring the chakras and merging that with the Merkava. This is a very powerful meditation, and now that you've gotten used to working with that Merkava star, I want you to take it to the next level with the rainbow light. Okay, so there's your homework assignment. Anyways, so glad you're here. Listen, if you haven't got your horoscopes, definitely pop over to my website, robert-hickman.com. I post daily horoscopes. You can get them over there. Free of charge, okay? Also, stop by Lady Angela's website, rarewiccaspells.com. She's selling Merkava stars there, the six-pointed star, the hexagram, which is the sign of the Order of Melchizedek. You can also get those if you type in Spirit Channel at the coupon code when you check out. You'll get 10% off, okay? So pop over to her store. She has a lot of wonderful spiritual stuff. You can buy candles for your altar. You can buy your Melchizedek stars. You can get the printout of Lord Melchizedek for your altar at my website, also robert-hickman.com. So let's, for those of you who want to get yourself going, get your altar going, we got the stuff for you, okay? Well, anyways, keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got more coming tomorrow, Tuesday, which means messages from the spirit world. You don't want to miss it. So be back here then. Hope you'll like this, favorite, subscribe to our channel, and let's get the word out about the work we do. Thanks for being here. Love you guys. Many blessings to you. Love you. See you back here tomorrow. Blessed be.